Hi all, this is Stephanie with Energy Alliance. This is my Thursday Tarot Insight. Welcome. How's everybody doing out there? It is intense. I will tell you, when I pulled this card, I just sighed with relief in a quiet kind of understanding of the deepening of what's happening for us as a collective. So the card I pulled today is Mother Water. And in the tarot, we have these suits. And one of the suits in this deck is water, and water is about our emotions. And we have the father water, mother water, brother and sister water. So the mother water is really the emotional holder for us all. And when you look at this, you can just kind of see her as this really mothery figure, right? And so what I want to say about that is, we all have these impressions or ideas or stereotypes about the ideal mother, right? Nurturing and loving and supportive. And she is all this. She is holding our emotions. But I want to point out here, just because someone like our mother, like this mother here, is holding our emotions, doesn't mean that they are not there. Right? It doesn't mean that the emotions don't exist. It means that we're kind of getting help because we can't process it or we can't have them all at once. And so here's this card holding for us our emotional body when it is intense. So this is in this deck, the Tarot of the Spirit. She is the Great Mother. She's lying hidden beneath the surface. Look at the beauty of this card. She is definitely influencing the energy. So what is the energy underneath that we can't see clearly? We can't see it clearly. We cannot see this energy clearly because it's not that kind of information. It's not going in and just hashing it out like, what am I feeling with my mind? It is what's happening here, this card, is there's layers of vibration, layers of energetic vibrations. This card is here to remind us that there are more influences to our feeling state than we are aware of with our awakened senses. So by awakened senses, I mean our minds, our thinking, our seeing, our smelling, our touching, our hearing, the things that we're out in the world trying to figure out about our emotional state. There's way more going on energetically first, and that's how energy works, right? It starts off as an energy, and if it's strong enough, it stays around enough, it builds enough, it will turn into something, right? Like physical in our bodies or in our world. But this is a collective energetic vibration, and not just one vibration, many vibrations that's underlying our emotional awareness, our emotional capacities, what is kind of easy to tune into right now in these days where we have this vibration that's kind of shifted from black and white to all of a sudden we see these nuances of like, oh, there's a little bit of color here, and like, let's focus on that. The only way to really come close to discover, what these energies are beneath the surface, the only way to really tap in is, to learn and listen to them, to feel them, to sense them with parts of ourselves that are not of our mind. And so I often talk about having quiet moments, and I just keep talking about it because it's so important for us right now, because the information that's going to help us, that's going to carry us, that's going to give us strength, is the quiet information. And once you start to have a practice where you're getting quiet and you're going in with an intention of awareness, with an intention of discovery and curiosity, and not to cure, not to fix, not to do, not to be something other than you're not, then you really start to tune into energy. So let's talk about what's lying beneath the surface. how can we find it, right? Like I just talked about, how can we find this information? Well, having the quiet time, right? And it's really all about following the subtleties, practicing getting quiet and asking. So I'll give you a perfect example of something that's been happening to me in the last few days is, I've just been feeling this really internal, subtle, like, I'll call it grief because that's what I've discovered it is, but this longing to really cry and be sad, and I wasn't quite sure what it is. And so I was on my walk yesterday and I really started feeling it. And it wasn't a really big upwelling of emotion. It was just very, very subtle, and I got curious. And I didn't try to figure it out on my walk, but I did pay attention to it while I was walking. And then when I came back home, I sat quietly and closed my eyes, and I wasn't even doing anything besides that. I just stopped, I closed my eyes, I took long, deep breaths, and then I could start to really feel it. And I had this really upwelling of emotion that I was able to kind of move through and process and do some writing about and doing some contemplation about and figuring out a little bit more about it, what it was. But it really wasn't black and white to me. It was just a feeling that I allowed to move through me. And it's still there, actually. And so when I pulled this card, I was like, oh yeah, there's stuff going on underneath the surface. And I want you to look at the bottom of the card here, because it's digging up the mulch of ourselves, really cultivating the self-awareness, that brings up stuff, right? Cultivating our self-awareness brings us to more expanded consciousness, right? So cultivating self-awareness brings more expanded consciousness. It's not going up and out when we meditate or we have quiet times. It's not leaving our body to find this blissful feeling or this blissful state, although that can happen. It's really about paying attention to what's going on inside of us. And there's one thing that I've learned as a student of energetic studies is it really is, there's so much information inside of us, okay? We can have help, and there's information outside of us for sure, but the information that you need as an individual, the information that we need as individuals for our best selves, for our spiritual growth, for our energetic growth, is in you. It's in you, and it takes quiet time to actually feel, to actually listen, to actually sense what it is, what the vibrations are, and how it is feeling for you. So let's take a last look at this Mother Water card. Trying to get it into focus here. These are kind of wild times, right? Oh, here we go. And I'm wishing you all like lots of love and deep awareness right now. It's a lot of emotional chaos out there. And the way I see it energetically is when the emotional chaos is out there, it's trying to connect to us and we're trying to connect to it. And so we're trying energetically to find a match in vibration. And that's all well and good, but if we're not paying attention to what kind of vibration is really true to us and what vibration we want to have or what vibration feels right for us, feels good to us, then we're matching just random. We're like, oh yeah, I can match that. Like that painful energy of that painful picture of that angry idea or that angry way of being, that I can match that because we can find that in us, right? Just because we can match it doesn't mean it's meant for us. It doesn't mean it's the way we want to be, right? So it's really about this card is about internal self-awareness and energetic awareness. Please reach out if you need any meditations or want a simple practice. I will happily send it your way. And also, if you're really feeling bogged down and in the midst of a big cloud, I was personally feeling like that for a couple weeks, reach out for help. Get help from somebody, a friend, an energetic worker. I give energetic readings. You can, go to a group where you can process something, you can move your body. support yourself, because these times are pretty crazy. Okay, everybody. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you next week. Bye.